Welcome, wrestling fans. Welcome to Curtain Jerkin. As always, I'm your host, Jacob Grondy, reporting for the Main Event Marks YouTube channel. You can also check me out on Spotify. However you're listening to my voice, I appreciate it. I'm talking to you past my bedtime for 2 nights in a row now. It feels like forever ago since Carmelo Hayes turned on Trick Williams. We'll catch up on that tomorrow night. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Noah. We're going to be talking about Monday Night Raw. And we're also going to be talking about the Stardom issue. Oyama, who is Okada and Bushiroad's merch manager, will now be running Stardom. Last episode, I mentioned that the founder of Stardom has left the promotion. But the big implication here for all this is that he is going to start this thing, NXT Japan. Much like NXT UK, it would be like a feeder system for NXT in Florida and then to the main roster. Julia, spelled like Gulia, the biggest star in the promotion, who is rumored to be coming stateside, said that the thing that Rousey Ogawa, the founder, has built is being destroyed. But up until last year and the year before, we had a lot of momentum, didn't we? It was extremely frustrating to see that the things we had all built together were falling apart more and more, which that is something. I don't watch Stardom too closely, but listening to a lot of the commentary, that was something that was being mentioned a lot during last year, with the whole Mercedes Moné thing. It feels like everything that they were building towards was getting kind of derailed. And I guess that, not everything can last forever, but, and then this NXT Japan thing is heavily rumored. Rousey Ogawa did say he was going to start another promotion, so whether that's this NXT UK thing that people are hoping it is, or assuming it is, or hoping it's not, he is going to start another promotion. Whether it's going to be an all-female promotion or what, no one knows yet. But we do know that the head writer, or this main guy backstage in All Japan Pro Wrestling, got let go because he was doing some kind of tampering. And now the rumor is that they let this Ogawa guy go because he was doing some sort of tampering. WWE has gotten in trouble and been accused of tampering with AEW talent in the past. So it does kind of maybe foreshadow a little bit here that WWE has their fingerprints on some of the stuff going on. I don't know, it's kind of interesting. If they get the guy that helped build Stardom to what it is today to build an NXT Japan, I mean, that seems like that would be a good promotion. But if WWE kind of goes into Japan, will we have what we kind of had with the UK scene, this budding indie scene that everyone was loving, like with Zack Sabre Jr. and Will Ospreay? Will we just start to see the great talent that's in Japan start getting eaten up into this NXT Japan thing, just like the UK scene? The UK scene was, in the early 2010s, was, on par with any scene in the world. And then all of a sudden NXT UK happened, and I don't think they've really gotten to that point yet, or gotten to that point since, of being this big global footnote in the world of wrestling. So if that happens to Japan, that would be kind of disappointing. Japanese wrestling is amazing, it's fun. New Japan, Noah, the companies that I watch, DDT that I watch from afar, Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling that I watch from afar, Stardom that I watch from afar, all are great promotions, but what makes them great is that they're all a little different, and they're definitely different from what we see in America, where if NXT Japan happens, it's all going to kind of blend into the same thing, and I don't know if I really want that. I like pro wrestling. I love pro wrestling, of course, but I love all these different promotions and what makes them different. Where if, NXT Japan happens, you run the risk of everyone, WWE swallowing up all this great talent, not really showcasing them too much because they're all the way in Japan, and then that scene that people have utilized in the wrestling world for decades would be no more, because just like the UK, it is swallowed up by this global juggernaut that is the WWE. But that's all hearsay. We don't know what's going on here. It's just speculation. It's fun to think about. It's fun to talk about. It's a little bit of a conspiracy involved here. But all we know is that Rossy Ogawa, the founder of Stardom, has stepped down, and that this guy who's just runs Bushiroad's merch is now running Stardom. But staying in Japan, the new Noah GHC Heavyweight Champion was crowned yesterday. I didn't talk about it yesterday because I wanted to have a chance to watch it and review the match. El Hijo, Dr. Wagner Jr. versus Kino. Kino, a staple of Noah. El Hijo means the son of Dr. Wagner Jr., so he is Silver King's nephew for the old school WCW fans. This luchador is no stranger to Noah. He's been a mainstay on the roster since I've been watching the past few years, but I would say that this is probably the biggest match of his tenure in this promotion, and he knows the deal here. He knows that Noah, you gotta lay it in, and he was chopping the shit out of Keno's chest during this match. You gotta love that shit. Keno gains the upper hand with a foot stomp as action spills to the floor, but then Wagner answers with a wild dive. This was, like Darby Allin level. He hit the ropes, but this guy's, the size of Silver King. Powerbomb in the inside. 1, 2. Keno kicks out. Both men down. Keno tries to cut him off, but you definitely feel that Wagner has the upper hand here. It's really kind of fun to watch. I feel like Noah's pacing, like I was saying with all the promotions being different, Noah's pacing and methodical style through the whole promotion is pretty interesting. You find yourself, or I find myself, just like really getting drawn in by like very slow, high impact stuff. It's not like New Japan. It's definitely not like AEW or WWE in that regard. Call me crazy, but I did feel the crowd going from Keno to El Hijo Dr. Wagner Jr. here as they both trade Germans, both men down again. Shittiest double stomp ever. I like El Hijo, but I mean, come on. This was rough. He missed him by a mile. Gets a 2 count, goes up, lands a moonsault. That was smooth. That was butter. 1, 2. Keno still kicks out. Keno then locks in the Keno special, or like a cross face. It lands the foot stomp the proper way, snug as ever, the way it should be. Moonsault from Keno, no one home. Roll up by Dr. Wagner Jr. 1, 2, no. Lariat, Wagner driver, 1, 2, no. Keno will not lay down. Moonsault, 1, 2, 3, and new GHC Heavyweight Champion El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr., the first luchador to ever hold this title, the second foreigner ever to hold this title. And then as he's celebrating, Jake Lee comes out, the man who Keno beat for this championship, congratulates him, but also challenges him, and then leaves. And then you got the champ standing tall, sending the crowd home happy. This was good. This was big news. This match was great, worth going out of your way to find. Wrestle Universe, for people that are upset with New Japan and we're kind of looking for something new, I would recommend going over to Noah because they got a new champ. Jake Lee's great. They've gotten a few good puzzle pieces lined up to have a great 2024. But of course, Noah is great, Stardom is great, but it's a Monday night. What are we going to be talking about? WWE Raw. Rollins comes out off the top. The mere mention of the American Nightmare gets a big reaction. He says, "Y'all want Cody? So do I." And this gets a light boo. The crowd here not wanting Rollins to wrestle Cody at WrestleMania. And then he, tells Cody to come on out. Crowd cheers. These guys are both fucking over. Rollins, Cody, everyone's singing the songs. It's great. Rocky sucks chants. The first time since the 90s. Michael Cole even brings it up. Like, I cannot, what is this, 1996? What an old chant. WWE Universe here might fuck around and get a piece of the old Rock if they don't watch it. I don't think anyone wants old Rock to come out in 2024 and cut these, crazy ass heel promos that he was doing in '97. I think that this was the first hint of not just pro Cody, but anti-Rock on the body of a WWE show. We want Cody chants. This was interesting. Rollins issues the challenge. Crowd kind of boos again. You kind of hear like a rumbling, not really a cheer. Like they are talking to one another about whether they want this to happen or not. Everyone's fantasy booking. You just hear like St. Louis crowd just all fantasy booking toward one another. As the music hits, you hear the slashing of the sword. The heel himself, the guy who went full heel last week, attacking CM Punk. Drew McIntyre makes his way down, has the meme of Punk in the graveyard on his shirt. I guess it's a new shirt. Drew wants Cody to go up against Reigns. Rollins, you don't have to be a prick. You know, it's like, dude, yeah, you kind of came out and ruined what we had going, man. And then Drew headbutts him. Cody chases him away. Cody, with the WrestleMania sign looming in the background, great camera work here, staring daggers into Drew McIntyre. Adam Pearce finds Drew McIntyre for headbutting the champion when he was injured. Cole brings up that Reigns versus Rock match has been sparked with controversy, not been signed yet. And Thursday at the press conference, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, in the city that the Super Bowl is being held at in Las Vegas, will be this big press conference. They've been hyping up this press conference. And then we even got Cody tweeting out, "Appreciate the passion. God bless y'all. But trust me." Whatever that's supposed to mean. So it seems like there's a concerted effort to get people to be like, "Hey guys, it's the fucking Rock. He's back." Like, you know, let's focus on that here. Everyone wants Cody, myself included, but also including Nakamura, who attacked him over the weekend, cutting a promo here for the main event bull rope match, Cody versus Nakamura. If they were trying to hook me, they did. You got enough old school, you got a dash of New Japan, you got Monday Night Raw main event. I love wrestling. This has got a big fight feel here. Nakamura attacking before the bell. Too many damn commercials on Raw. They cut the commercial break like twice during this main event here. Where's the picture in the picture when you need one? Brawling in the crowd, brawling outside the ring, back in the ring, figure 4 by Cody, power slam. Nakamura gets the momentum, going after the back of the head here. Cody cutter, bionic elbow. Nakamura still fires back. Pedigree by Rhodes, missed by Nakamura. Cody fights him off even with the miss, hits a blind crossroads. Nakamura attacking him with the bull rope. Cody gets the bull rope between Nakamura's legs and racks his dick and balls. Crossroads, 1, 2, 3. Cody gets the victory. Crowd pops. He's definitely the biggest star on the show. Rollins, Drew, Judgment Day, whatever, Becky Lynch. Cody Rhodes was who St. Louis wanted to see this evening, and they saw him at the beginning of the show, and they saw him in the main event win. But then Drew McIntyre comes back out, attacks Cody Rhodes like a real jerk. Once again, full-on heel here. Attacked Punk last week, attacked Rollins at the beginning of the show, and attacked Cody at the end of the show. And I gotta say, this is the best work of Drew's career. I remember him with the IC title run. I remember him in the Indies. I remember him coming back and holding the title during the pandemic. None of that shit was as good as how he's been here the last 6 months on Monday Night Raw. We had to sit down with Sami Zayn as well, talking about where he was last year. Great promo here, but I don't know how Sami Zayn's going to factor into WrestleMania. That's what I'm worried about. Last year he was one of the biggest stars on the show. Here he, might not get on the show. We had Chance and Carter versus the Kabuki Warriors. Carter launches Chance into the Warriors. You had every other team in the division looking on from the back. A month or two ago, I was kind of shitting on the women's tag division, but now I'm hooked. 450 cutter double team called the After Party 1-2. Sane makes the save. Cool little standing senton off the shoulders thing they do called the keg stand. No one home. Asuka lands a kick. Insane elbow. 1, 2, 3. They piped in boos here. No one in St. Louis was booing the Kabuki Warriors. a bit of a light cheer. We all love them, and I don't know, you can kind of tell they pipe in boos and cheers at times, and this was kind of obvious. If you hear the boos and you look and you don't really see anyone booing, yeah, sure, it's a big crowd, but you got to at least see someone on the camera shot, I think, for me to believe it at least. But that's not all the women's action we got on Raw. Becky versus Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler cutting a promo, putting on her gi before the match. Becky cutting a promo and then going right out to the arena. I thought that was a pretty cool touch. Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Baszler, knee to the nose, using the steps to go after the hand. Becky going for the disarmor, but not being able to fully apply it. Superplex, still can't get the disarmor locked in. Manhandle slam, 1, 2, 3. I thought that the way the match was going here was eventually she was going to lock in the disarmor, but no, she won with a manhandle slam. We also got a Liv Morgan promo. She's going after Rhea. This was not a good promo. Rhea comes out. She's going after Nia Jax. She doesn't even mention Liv Morgan here, and that's good. It's probably better not to mention that shitty promo from Liv Morgan. Adam Pearce comes out, books Nia versus Rhea at Elimination Chamber, and then Nia Jax comes out, security trying to separate the two, but Nia Jax is just too damn powerful. She destroys the security and takes out the champion and does the earthquake finisher on Rhea's chest. This is, good. I worry because I like Rhea, and Nia Jax is, kind of has the reputation of injuring women that she wrestles. So anytime I see someone wrestle with Nia, I kind of get worried. I know that's probably all hype. Most of the people she wrestles, she doesn't hurt. But that's just, that's what goes into my head during a Nia Jax match. This wasn't all we saw at Judgment Day, though. R-Truth, even though he was attacked last week, he thinks he's still in the group. He thinks that he got reinitiated or jumped in or something like that. They kind of give up on him. They let him stay in the back, and then he discovers these T-shirts. JD has a match against Miz, and during the match, R-Truth comes out. I felt like Bobby Heenan in Batch of the Beats 96 here. Whose side is he on? And then he's giving out Judgment Day T-shirts. He's not really there for the Miz. He's not really there for the match at all. He puts a T-shirt on Dominic. Dominic doesn't even have his arms through the T-shirt, and that allows Miz to boot him on the outside, gets back in the ring, and that's when JD lands a moonsault, about to pin the Miz, and then Truth gets on the apron and wants to give JD his cut of these T-shirts, hundreds of dollars. JD, of course, in a wrestling match, but shit, you're paying him. He's going to put it in his tights, but then boom, skull-crushing finale. Miz gets the victory. This was good, but I do feel like they're kind of pulling back on Judgment Day. Judgment Day was like the main focal point of the show a few months ago or even a few weeks ago, and here they only have this one little segment. I feel like, WrestleMania season is upon us, and there's always a few odd men out, and it looks like, at least right now, the few odd men out are Sami Zayn and members of the Judgment Day. We did have a tag team 4-way match, Creed versus Imperium versus DIY versus The New Day. SmackDown had their 4-way match. The winner was Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, and the winner of this match will go on to face them. Kofi and Julius flying on everybody. Ciampa drops Woods on everybody. Tower of Doom spot. Moonsault by Brutus Creed. And then he applies an ankle lock. Julius playing defense, but Finchy just doesn't tap, kind of destroying their ankle lock. If you lock in a submission for this long in 2024, I think it kind of kills it if he doesn't tap. Back in the day before the popularity of UFC, you could kind of build suspense with a submission. But I feel like now you kind of have to have him tap a little sooner than you did about 15 years ago. DIY breaks up the ankle lock, though. Brutus Ball, DIY does get the win, and they go up against Pete and Dunne on SmackDown. That should be a pretty good one. Later on, though, Imperium talking to Pierce, not about the match, but about Gunther's celebration for his Intercontinental title. This whole kind of conversation they're having with Adam Pearce gets interrupted by Braun Breaker. He's still a free agent. I I want to see him on Raw. Maybe, they say that he's kind of taking the Brock Lesnar spot. Are we going to see Braun versus Gunther at WrestleMania? I wouldn't mind that. In the ring, there's these pillars. The Imperium doing a celebration. It gets interrupted by Jey Uso. Everyone's doing the hand thing. It looks cool. You've seen it at rap festivals for like 30 years now, but in a wrestling setting, it's fresh, it's awesome. Yeet indeed. They're jaw-jacking back and forth. They start to brawl, but it's a numbers game. Jey Uso versus the 3 members of Imperium. So the New Day come out to even the odds. And the Imperium hightails it. So I think we're going to get a 6-man tag match here. I don't think that they're going to have Jey Uso versus Gunther at WrestleMania. I don't think they will. They might. But I think that this is kind of like Cody and Nakamura, where this is a feud that we're going to see play out on Raw instead of play out in a PLE, where Gunther versus Jey Uso. I think they're going to do, like Gunther versus... I think it's going to be Braun Breaker. I'm not sure. Jey Uso is over, so if they do have like the fun party guy versus the serious Intercontinental Champion, I can see that working as well. We also had Tozawa and Maxine versus Ivar and Valhalla. Maxine is a tall glass of water. Tozawa not able to hit the sunset flip. Huge slam off the top from Ivar. 1, 2, 3. I usually don't watch Raw live. I watch it on YouTube or like fast forwarded the next day, and it was this point, halfway point, that the show did kind of drag a little bit. I was remembering why I kind of watch on YouTube more or less, but it was a great show. I mean, this Cody thing hooked me. WrestleMania hooked me, and at the end of the day, everyone chanting "We want Cody." They're not chanting, fuck you, Vince McMahon. So I do feel like they'll take this controversy where people are talking about what match they want to see most at WrestleMania, rather than how the founder, or not the founder, but the owner of the company for decades was taking shits on women's foreheads. So, this controversy is way better than the controversy they had last week, and I think they'll take it. You gotta love WrestleMania season. Fly high. I'm out.